Here.
Lucy Nolan-Woodward.
Here?
No. Debbie Bronson.
Here.
Craig Sims.
Here.
Steve Vitale.
Here.
And Rachel Lizette here.
Okay, public hearings, we don't have any tonight. Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Public comments on agenda items. Approval of minutes dated July 8th, 2019.
So moved.
Second? And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, communications correspondence workshop, anybody have anything? I'll just say Haven Places, Haven Place Days. They're calling them this weekend. If anybody is interested on the 17th, actually it's next weekend, so 17th.
And I will just add that council has received the PUD ordinance that we approved. All I got.
Let the record show that Robert Cannell is here. Anybody else on communications? Okay, matters for consideration. Old business, ordinance update the sign ordinance. And everyone should have a copy of what should be the final copy in front of them. So we'll start with Jeff,
Okay.
and you can go forward with a couple changes that we made.
Just one question to Tracy. You had mentioned the PUD. Are we on the agenda for next week, Tuesday? Or are they,
Yes.
do they want to hold and do them all at once?
We're gonna do this and that at once, because hopefully tomorrow morning they'll get this,
Okay.
if all goes well.
And then would the expectation be that I'm at that meeting too?
No, that's a great question. I will find that out for
Because
you.
more than happy to. If
Okay.
they're looking for an explanation of,
Sure.
more general changes in what we worked through.
Sure.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Again, in front of you, hopefully, is a final draft of the sign ordinance. Since the last one went out, there were some comments that floated around by way of email, and those comments hopefully you'll see addressed in here. What is highlighted just tonight in here in red are the changes that were made since the last meeting. If I can draw your attention to, first of all, page 2, which would be section 3, item D. We had talked about initially, at one point in time, when we were talking about temporary signs and going back and forth, you recall we had a discussion about exempting New Haven High School from the rules of the sign ordinance. The question came about, what about the other educational institutions within the community? After talking to the attorney, who basically thought that any public institution operating within the village should be exempt from the sign ordinance. So that would include the village and our illegal sign technically out front, so we're good on that one. It would include the school district, New Haven Community Schools, the elementary, middle, everybody who's within the community boundaries. It would include Merit Academy, because they are considered a public education institution, as they receive state dollars. It would include the road commission, and it could also include, potentially, I guess, the state of Michigan if they were to set up shop and have some type of operation. So with that, the change that was made reads public institutions, including the Village of New Haven Community Schools, and the state of Michigan recognized public charter schools shall be exempt from the provisions of this ordinance. Right.
Should it say something included within the boundaries of the Village of New Haven? I mean, I don't want charter schools from Chesterfield Township advertising here to get.
No, it would be institutions with it, because they would be putting signs on their property that would not be.
Can we just make it Merit Academy versus making it open to
No.
charter schools?
The reason we went with charter schools and public institutions, if that institution were to change or another academy came in, then you'd be looking at an ordinance change. So this is trying to blanket that by saying public institutions.
Then it seems like it should state that are located within the boundaries, because it doesn't say that. It says public institutions, including Village of New Haven Community Schools, and State of Michigan recognized charter schools shall be exempt from the provisions of this ordinance.
So maybe charter schools within boundaries.
Within the boundaries, though.
We could say public institutions operating within the boundaries of the village of New Haven.
I just don't want it to think that, hey, charter school, Chesterfield could blanket us with signs looking for students to.
I would propose the change to say public institutions operating within the boundaries of the village of New Haven, and then the rest of the language follow. The next element that was addressed was related to, sorry, there actually is a piece in red here that was from before, on page 7, under non-conforming signs, P2. We had already added this, and I forgot to change this back to Kathy, so you accepted it. We're talking about sale, we're talking about non-conforming signs, not giving them 10 years, is non-conforming upon the sale of the property to bring that sign into compliance. So there's no change at that point there.
Well, I thought we lowered the amount of years of those businesses within as well. We're gonna wait 10 years?
No, that's what, we had it at 10 years, and now we're saying upon the sale of the business, that they would need to be brought up to date.
No, but I mean, non-conforming signs on businesses that are current. I understand immediately for those. that
I always said a year.
Yeah, I thought it was that we were giving a year to businesses within the boundaries of the village of New Haven that are current. They have a year to start updating their signage.
We did give them more than a year. We might have, I feel like it could, there was discussion about dropping the 10 down, but it definitely wasn't a year. It was like maybe 5 or 7. For some reason, I got 7 in my head, like as an oddball number, but 5, but I think a year is,
Short.
I think it's unreasonable expectation on some businesses that I'd like to see it, but I don't know that, we're giving them
Well, what
notice.
about 3 then? I mean, they've been non-conforming probably even under the previous ordinance, but nothing's ever happened.
Right.
I think a year is fine, because I would say the ones that have been, this ordinance has changed over these years. 10 was a new number, but they know how to date for these things. And just nobody's been here to enforce it all these years. And now that we do have enforcement,
But how many businesses are not conforming right now?
Most of them. Many of them.
Well, didn't we talk about the signs for the AMVets?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was,
We did, Ross wasn't
temporary
here for
sign.
that.
Right. Didn't we say that was a year to bring to, because those were not allowed.
Those, we gave them a year. Those are, so you know, the
yes,
list.
Steve filled me in on it.
Okay,
So yeah, I know about that.
yeah.
That's easy. We want to move this place forward. Get rid of the junk. Get it looking nice and pretty. And I mean, I got to hand it to Dan. I love driving around this town and not seeing this place littered with.
I mean, 10's
Oh, you
kind of.
obviously haven't driven down Main Street lately.
I've been gone for 2 weeks.
Well, they're
And I know
next.
Dan's gone too.
I'm sure Main Street's next. But I mean, yeah, 10's, some of these people might not even be having to have a business in 10, but they might sell it, or the ordinance could change in 10. I don't know. Yeah, 10's a little steep, but 1 is, yeah, I would say 1's too short, but I think 10's too far.
Okay.
So what are we giving 3 years?
Rob likes 3. Anybody thoughts on 3?
3 sounds good.
Is that-
Sounds
That's
pleasant
the way I
for
said that.
everybody.
I was gonna cut the middle on 5.
I'm good with 5 too, 3
Yeah,
and
I'm
5.
okay with 5. I think giving 3, some of these signs are thousands and thousands of dollars.
I was gonna say
And they're not gonna do it.
Oh yeah, but we want this place to change, don't we?
I know that, but I would rather,
But
I'd
we don't
rather
want
find a
business out of
compromise
business.
so the business will continue to operate.
Buying a sign isn't going to put anybody out of business. If buying a sign for $5,000 puts them out of business, it's time for them to get out of the business.
You'd be surprised, a small business, it's tough.
I deal with small businesses.
3 to 5, I think, would be reasonable. 10 would be, I think 10's a little steep.
Lucy, what's your number? Greg?
Yeah, I'd say three, let's say four. No, I don't want to start a whole battle.
Oh, a whole new number.
No. Four. What do you,
You're
we're gonna
gonna do
go all the way
four?
up to 9 by the time we get to the end.
Five.
So, yeah.
3.
I'm gonna say 5.
I'm gonna go 5. 5.
I-
All right.
5 years it is. All right, moving on.
John's like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
In addition, I'm gonna add to that. Also, we have to remember, someone has to administrate all this stuff.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be awesome. I don't have to.
well, and right now we have a very active person doing this, and we don't know that the future will bring that. So I think 5 years also gives us time to put something in order, a housekeeping version of the administrative. Okay, who's gonna follow up on this? Who's gonna know, who's not applying? That's gonna take more than a minute.
When does Dan leave next month?
Dan's gone.
He's already gone?
For how long? 6?
That was a
only
month.
Oh,
It's supposed to be only a month,
But yeah,
but
probably.
that doesn't mean,
gotcha.
I planned for 2.
Okay.
it's very open.
Well, I think, you know-
Kennedy said that he could get,
I mean, we have email contact with most of our businesses, and you can just request that the businesses all be forwarded in new business, and to recognize, the changes, and, that way, and then follow up with them afterwards if they're not gonna.
They'll have to have a plan for that, because emails, they're going to send like
Didn't we?
certified letters, something of that nature.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about doing some sort of communication other than this. Some newspaper post.
And that
some-
does have to get.
Okay, it all has to be pushed for
And it'll
2
be
weeks.
updated like on our website and stuff.
I think she's talking about directly. letting
I'm
you
just
know.
giving them,
Yeah, I
like,
mean-
hey, things have changed.
It's
Make
been
sure-
posted, it's legal, whether you
Yeah.
get this email or don't get this email. it's-
Mail it to them.
Take
But we're trying to
certified
let you-
letters, that way you have proof they got it.
Yeah.
No one wants to sign for them damn letters anymore. I
Well,
send them all
they'll
the
get proof
time.
when Dan knocks on their door, so.
But I think
really.
we're imposing a change that is going to affect some people financially. So I think we need to be a good neighbor and properly notify everyone, not just an email, and if they choose to read, they choose to read, if they don't, they don't.
I know we talk about that, but I mean, most people know and have been in business and are in business in other communities. They know they've been on the gravy train here with what they got away with and what they do. I mean, they know, they're not stupid. Nobody's stupid out here. They all know what they got, and they've been getting away with it for many, many years. Like lengthening it out.
It's not about lengthening it out, it's about being professional.
Okay, we're just gonna say we're gonna leave it at 5, and we'll do our best to notify the businesses in some means of the updates. Jeff?
Not marked in red, but if I can bring your attention to page 13, section J1. This is the temporary sign section. There seemed to be some discussion, there was some concern about, or maybe some confusion over the number of signs and the total sign square footage. So what you'll see here is just these letters A, B, C. It was just reordered to basically say, first, number of signs being 2 temporary signs for each address may be displayed, and then we follow up then with the size and the height limitations. It just reads a little bit clearer that way. So you have to backtrack through. And then when we get to item number G, we talk about condition. These were the elements that the code, that Dan, current code enforcement officer, wanted to have a definition of what a poor sign condition would be. So it still stays the same: faded, tattered, ripped, torn, stained, unmounted, illegible, water damaged signs shall be removed or repaired by the owner, or will be subject to removal and disposal by, and initially we had just said the Village of New Haven code enforcement personnel, but now we're actually adding to that, or other designated village staff.
That's good.
So in the event that we don't have a code enforcement person, someone from DPW could still be directed to go out and do that. And I think what you will find if you look in section K7, it's basically the same language, saying if a temporary special event sign is not in compliance or doesn't come down in the permitted time, the code enforcement person or designated village person can go ahead and make that call and pull that down. And I believe,
I have an issue on D, the size,
I'm sorry.
16 square feet per address.
yes,
That gives the ability for someone to put a 2 foot by 4 foot double-sided sign on their lawn within a residential district, bitching basically about whatever they want, versus at least keeping it at a lawn sign level of 4 square feet. I mean, an example, you drive down Mendez, and that guy has that, about his guns and his, all that crap on there. Every time we have a community event down there, they gotta drive by that kind of mentality. That if you step on his lawn, he's gonna blow you away. And it's a six, you know, it's a large sign. At least if it's limited down to just a regular 2 foot by 2 foot lawn sign at max. Hell, he puts all that writing on there, no one can read it anyways, but you can read them nice big 4-inch letters he got on there now. And you also leave it open to whatever message somebody gets ticked off about and wants to. Let's leave them the ability to do that, but not have it be a humongous statement that everybody else has got to look at too. I mean, most people buy a lawn sign, they're buying them in lots of 50 or 100. They're not buying 16 square feet of signage, you know what I mean?
Well, if you do 2 of those lawn signs, that's 16 square feet front and back.
Yeah. So why do we need 2 on each property? Or limit it to 2 signs at 4 square feet? It can't be level sided.
I think when the original discussion took place there where the 16 square feet was, we were thinking outside of just the personal lawn sign, but then also any type of temporary signs that would be used along Gratiot or the commercial areas. And that would tend to be a larger sign for visibility for the road. I think that's what was the thought here.
4 foot, that would be increased.
Amanda, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, one thing we've seen is separating the size and amount from residential to non-residential. So you could say 1 up to 12 square feet for a residential, 1 or more up to 12 square feet for a residential district, and then just 1 up to 16 square feet for a commercial district. So that leaves your commercial properties to have a larger size sign for like political events and elections and stuff like that, but then residentials are limited. I don't know if that's already in there.
When our original draft was structured that way, when we did differentiate between commercial and residential, and this is what what's in here is what we distilled it down to after discussion, so.
When you come up with political signs, though, and I want to put every single candidate on my front lawn, no matter what this ordinance says, you can't stop me from that.
You can have them all out there.
Yeah.
These political signs are.
I mean, that's not going to stop this.
Well, then I
This is
think
going to
that-
stop the crazy stuff.
I don't think it does it? It still doesn't stop like Jesus loves me messages, right?
It would be, Jesus loves me at 2 per 4 square feet or.
Oh, they don't
16
do
by
that.
16.
No, that-
Or a big 16 square
But that's
foot
what
sign.
he's got over there too, isn't it? But it doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah.
So it's not, we're not talking political signs with this.
No,
We're just talking
no.
about
Political election signs are.
Dunkin' Donuts.
temporary signs. that-
I think when we considered this, the conversation, if I recall, was like, congratulations, you had graduation. Isn't that what we discussed? And that's how we ended up where we ended up.
And our businesses and stuff, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Donuts,
like-
99 cents.
And that's how we ended up with the residential aspect of it, because we were trying to allow people to put like a temporary banner on their,
But we're never going to enforce those anyways.
right, I
Even
think
if
that
they're not
was
in
the
the
discussion
ordinance,
though.
we're never going to enforce somebody putting up a congratulations banner on their front lawn for a few days. This allows somebody to put permanent lawn signs all over their lawn that are quite large. And that you want to have the ability to get that stuff out of there. Things that are reasonable is not what the ordinance really is looking to squash. The reasonable is You're gonna say, oh, isn't that cute? Their kid graduated from school, they got a banner out on the lawn. Hello, I need this taken down right away. No, that's not what, you wanna stop all the more radical things, and this isn't gonna control that. It's a large sign, 16 square feet is a lot of space.
What's the average size sign do you think now?
The political ones?
No, just
18 by 24 inches. Well, that's less than
business,
4
I'm saying like a
feet.
business sign.
But any, lawn sign is 18 inch by 24 inch. That's what they sell the plastic as. Because you can get 10 out of a sheet 4 by 8. That's where the size comes from.
But from a business perspective, it's pretty small.
But that's what they're putting out there.
How difficult would it be to add a residential section and just go to 18 by 24?
2 18 by 24s in residential and allow it as,
And then the other is just straight up commercial.
and that being 1 or 2.
Either, they can choose, because they probably want to have the option of having a bigger sign. Leave exactly what we have there for our commercial, but add a residential section of 2 18 by 24 lawn signs.
Single-sided or one double-sided ad.
They can be double-sided, I think. I mean, they're small. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's,
It will be small on my lawn when I got only 40 linear
I
feet.
mean, most of them print that way too.
I mean, because you're even, I know this isn't, but, I mean, I have 2 school signs in my, or New Haven school signs. I mean, that's really
Well,
not
according
a
to Rob,
lot.
we're not gonna talk to people about that. We're just gonna enforce.
What you're saying is you just want to enforce the message that you don't like the gentleman has posted. We really can't do that.
I'm saying that that's what will happen.
I think
We've
he's
only
saying
been
the
enforcing
size.
things that are bad here in the past.
I will
So I'm
say,
trying to get the ordinance to at
I
least
think
have
that's
a
what we're trying,
trying.
you're not trying, I don't think it's about the message, I think it's about the
It is about
size.
the message though.
Do you agree?
It's about the message and the size.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but he wants to
But-
make, so the
But it
message
needs
is
to be
that's
large.
out there.
And permanent. The lawn sign isn't saying it can only be out there for 14 days or something. You're making this sign permanent, this lawn sign. There is no definition of time on here. So I can leave that lawn sign up 24/7 until it rots, and then somebody calls and takes it down, and I buy a brand new one and put it back up, and it's a permanent sign. It's not a temporary lawn sign, when you talk about it without having any time limits.
Okay, I'll go around the table again. Do you want a residential,
No, I think we're fine the way we are.
Craig?
No, but I do think if it's going to be called temporary sign, there needs to be a definition of what temporary is. The title of that section isn't changed, but it's not going to be temporary external exterior signs.
Okay. We'll go back to that.
But no,
Steve?
I'm okay with it, I know you're trying to eliminate the content, right, shrinking the size, but, I mean, I don't think we do that. I mean, I know legally we can, but trying to make it smaller physically, I don't know if the content will ever
Keep it as is?
be what we want it to be.
Keep it as is.
Okay, so keep it as is, don't worry about the change. And then do you want to go back to what Craig had to say?
In terms of the definition of what this section is called, temporary sign.
I mean, can you really call it temporary sign if there's nothing in there saying what temporary it is or title of it?
I think all of our other things are called, we don't put a time limit on it.
Typically, it's referred to temporary signs because of the nature and the structure and design of the sign itself, not necessarily because of the time limit that you put up to it. Traditionally, it was because of the time limit, but recent court cases have kind of ruled against approaching it that way because they look at it as limiting free speech, and anytime there's been challenged in court, it's kind of lost. So we look at it more in terms of the structure and the nature of the sign itself, and the fact that it's not like, there's a foundation, it's more like sticks or metal wire or something like that.
We define it as a freestanding sign, banner, or other device, construction of cloth, canvas, fabric, plastic, wood, paper, or other material with or without a structural frame, or any other sign intended for a limited period of display. That's kind of what we had to think of.
That's pretty much the definition.
I got that's what we had. It
It
is.
is.
And the key word she said there was intended for a limited amount of time.
Correct.
I've made signs. I've made them for years. I got signs hanging for 15 years on the side of a building. It's a temporary sign. It's still hanging there. It's a banner. I made it the best material I could and charged him more because he wanted a sign that was going to last. So what temporary used to be were paper and low-grade plastics that would, you're lucky to get a year out. You can buy a banner now that'll last 20 years. You can buy plastic that put it on a stake.
Okay, so are everybody good with keeping it called temporary sign based on what John said, or do we want to?
What if we just call it exterior sign and just get rid of temporary?
This is all exterior.
I'm good with temporary. I do too.
With no time frame.
Well, we
can't,
went
as John said, we can't put a time frame on it because you're limiting free speech.
Exactly. So why not at least limit the size of free speech?
Well, we've
For
already,
those that are going to use it and leave up a big sign all the time.
I mean,
You're
well,
still giving them the right to have speech, but you're just limiting how big it is, which will get you
Well, I
through
think
the law.
with all due respect, that we're more so talking right now about calling it temporary signs. Because I think everybody decided to leave it as it says. So now it's just whether we want to call it by item temporary sign or something different, to which I'm good with temporary sign.
what have you guys seen out there? How it's,
They've all been pretty much referred to as temporary signs.
Like John said, it's more about the structure, that you could walk up to it, pull it out. And your building inspector could walk up to it and pull it out if it's falling apart, but like you can't do that to a monument sign or a pylon sign.
It's phraseology that's widely recognized, and when you say temporary
Yeah.
sign, it already has that built into their mind of what that is. Changing it may kind of confuse some people in terms of what that would be.
So temporary meaning easily removed or removed, not time limit as temporary.
Yeah.
I think that's why we added G there, added all those stipulations, faded, tattered, ripped, torn, stained. Gives code enforcement and other staff to remove it. I mean, so it's temporary to this degree based on these conditions. But yes, we'll go back out, put another one in, but it'll be new, it'll be cleaner, it'll be nicer looking. So I'm good with it. I don't have any size. I don't know. I think 16 square feet is pretty reasonable.
What do you physically seeing how big a 16 square foot sign would be?
But I don't know if any people get, I mean, a temporary 16-foot sign, that's, I don't know how long it would actually survive in the elements anyways, you know. It's gonna be stuck in the ground, the wind, the snow, the rain, the sun fading it. Eventually, it could lead into faded, tattered, ripped, torn, or stained.
Painted again.
But, yes, but they would now be maintaining it, because they know that we could remove it.
As somebody that's tested the Roseville sign ordinance, because there was a loophole in it, I had a 30-foot banner on my roof. And the ordinance wasn't written to protect them from things like that. We're at least saying not to a maximum of 16 inches, but a lot of people didn't like my message.
It can't be higher than 4 feet above the ground, so they can't put it on the roof.
No.
I think that 4-foot height, I think, is kind of built in so that you don't end up with a tall sign. You'll end up with somebody walking 2 feet by 8, most likely.
Yeah.
It
It's a
wouldn't
big
be
sign.
a silly choice, but, you know.
It's a big sign.
Okay. I think that we're pretty unanimous on keeping it that way, so. Okay, so moving on, Jeff.
Moving on, the only other changes that you'll see that are in definition, it's on page 14, section K1, we talk about the special temporary event signs. These are the signs that if someone does need to come in, pull a permit for, there is a time frame, and we talked about what we can have. We can have banners, this is what we agreed on, banners, inflatables, feather signs, and human directional signs. Up to 4, I won't go into the details, but the reason I point those out is that other things that you'll see here in the back are just definitions. We revised the definitions to reflect all the types of signs that we're talking about now, and to put definition as to what a human directional sign is, what a feather sign is, so that those are clear. You'll see a banner sign as any plastic, film, paper, cloth, or similar material, and so with associated message area that's designed to be tied or otherwise fastened to a building or other structure. That constitutes the sign. The definition for a feather sign shall mean a vertically oriented banner connected to a vertical pole, typically placed into the ground. Those are a lot of we've seen along Gratiot, and people have had objections to so many of those. So this would limit the time and place to those. Human directional signs, those are those sign twirlers, sign spinners, human sign holders, and means a person or persons promoting a specific business, product, or event that wants to capture attention. So we're putting that in as a permanent special thing as opposed to not having those for running or whatever we did for events or sales. And then last one I believe that we talked about were inflatable signs. That's any object enlarged or inflated which can float, be tethered, or is just sitting on the ground that's filled with air, located on the ground or on a building with or without copy or graphic. So it could have a message on it, could just be a big angry gorilla standing there, type of thing. Or one of those little flappy guys, that we just talked about. We put the definition for what a special temporary display sign is, which falls back to the section K, which says banners, inflatables, feather signs, human directional signs requiring a permit and intended for a limited period of display. And then we, again, redefine temporary signs as what Amanda had noticed, a freestanding sign with the materials intended for a limited period of display. So that basically constitutes the changes that brought for you tonight, just based on, I think, a lot of the comments that came in last time this was distributed.
Okay, anybody have any questions, comments?
I just have one quick one about the inflatable sign. It says located on the ground around the building. There's one quite often in the bed of a pickup truck.
Is it stationary, like
It's
driven
one of
to
those-
the
one of
location
those-
and then blown up and
No, I think it's just put in the bed of a pickup truck and
driven around?
And no, it's stationary.
Oh, okay.
It's parked. No, it's parked,
Stationary.
but it's parked in front of the business. So I'm just wondering if there should be some added language in there about that, or
I would think that would be non-compliant.
Anywhere on the premises?
Because it doesn't, it's not.
Are you talking about
fixed.
27 in Gratiot, or where are you talking about?
yeah, Joel, about New Haven Road and Gratiot. It's
I
not
was
out
trying to
there,
figure
it's
out
not out
which
there
one
every day.
it
I
was,
think
yeah.
it's,
What this?
might be a T-Mobile.
Oh.
Or the,
So he put a sign in a truck because he couldn't
it was
put it
one
on
of
the
those,
ground?
it's one of those 20-foot cylinder things, like that looks like a person that's waving around.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
What's the name?
quite often is in the back of a pickup truck,
Yeah,
so it's
that-
not on the ground, it's not on the roof.
Considered
but
an inflatable, would it?
Yeah.
I do believe
It
we
is
have.
inflatable. It's activated by air or moving gas.
Wonder why he was using a bed of a truck.
We do have something though that says we can't have any advertising like with trucks, right?
Yes, yes.
So I would think if we really wanted to,
I would think if someone was coming legitimately to pull a permit and they'd be working with a company that happens to bring it on a truck, I mean, if that's specified.
Yeah, I don't think it's
seems
truck
fine.
mounted, I just think it's
Mhm.
set in the truck to get higher
Higher.
up in the air
Yeah.
or not be on the sidewalk or the walkway of the business.
But at the end of the day, they have
As
to get a
long as
permit
they're
for
out of
that,
the right of
correct?
way and on their own property, I mean, they would need to have it on their property that they have the right, I mean, that's where they would be pulling the permit for the address of where that event or
Okay.
business is.
it does very specifically say on ground or building.
Around the building.
So I think that would eliminate putting it in the back of the truck. If you really wanna.
That's
Well,
fun.
it says on the ground, and it's in the truck. Granted, the truck's on the ground, but it's still in the truck.
And that would be a no.
Right.
the first hurdle is getting them to apply for the permit.
Right,
That's gonna be the first goal.
yeah,
That's right.
this is a true statement.
Because I'm making an assumption, and correct me if I'm wrong, the goal is that administratively, they're gonna have some type of form you're filling out, this is telling you what you can and cannot do for this permit, so.
Leave that one up to Dan if it's in a truck. It's on the ground, but it isn't it? Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, are we good on your end? Okay, so a motion then to send this to council for final approval, which will require a quote,
Did they already receive this?
no, they would receive it. We ended up no changes, right, so far? Just
No, we actually, we have changes on the public institutions.
Oh, yes.
So
So-
there's no 5 years.
And then on the timeframe.
And timeframe being 5 years now.
Yeah.
Council meeting is next Tuesday.
Tuesday, is that possible for us
Oh,
to
absolutely. I'll
tomorrow?
make these
Okay.
changes will get turned around tomorrow. I will send them out to the group, and then
And then,
Tracy will get them to
I
the
will
clerk
forward
and
them.
council. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, because we wanted to get it done and into action by, was it September we said?
Yeah, if they.
by the time Dan gets back, how's that?
Perfect.
It's gotta be published and all that, so.
Yeah, we said either September or October, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so, motion is in order.
Second.
Motion?
I make a motion to send the sign ordinance to council for approval with the discussed changes.
Okay.
Second.
And, all in favor?
Aye.
And a roll call.
Tracy Pankowski.
Yes.
Lucy Nolan Gilbert.
Yes.
Rob Pennell.
No.
Genevieve Roderick.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Steve Vitale.
Yes.
And Rachel Witzel, yes.
Moving on, we have new business, which is, we've kind of already casually met our new members. So an introduction of our Macomb County planning staff, as Jeff is moving on and up. So we'll have Amanda and John. Thanks.
If I could say something, it's been a pleasure working with you guys. I plan on being with the village, although we may not see me here every meeting, I will definitely be in the background. I'm hoping that we can make this transition, become 100% of shoot like in November. So I plan on being here, I should be here at the September, potentially not the October, but the November meeting as well. Both the folks that you have here are fantastic staff persons. They're both AICP certified planners, and we've been working in the city of Utica collectively together, tag teaming their master plan, their parks and recreation master plan update, and also their sign ordinance. So John will be principal, Amanda will be in the wings, and their roles are reversed in the other community. So with that being said, I think what we're looking to do, we've had introductions, but next month coming out to you guys and looking at a real calendar now for moving forward on the master plan. We have our staff in place. Looks like we got a fully seated group here, so we can move that process, start moving that process forward. And then in the interim, I will bring them up to date on a number of other things. As far as continuing to work with our friend Hatham, I will be involved in that if he ever comes back to us. We are currently working, the gentleman who has Crossroads Party Store has approached the village, didn't come to us, but it's going to ZBA. He's looking for a non-conforming Class A designation for his property. So to bring that up as a point, that's been operating there longer than zoning's been in the village. But as he is zoned, he is in a residential 2 neighborhood that does not permit any type of commercial operation. So with his non-conforming Class A, it would allow him to continue the business and give him the ability to limit, do some limited expansion. He's looking to expand his cooler space and expand his offerings there. So That's going to be going before ZBA, I believe, this month. And then plans and stuff is going through building department related to that project, just to up to speed on that. So I'll be involved on that one as well.
Gee, everybody has a liquor license.
Funny how it all works, isn't it?
If there's any
lights.
questions related to the transition, I'd be happy to address them, but I think you guys can give a good answer.
Okay, anybody have any questions or? You good? Thank you very much and welcome.
No problem. So you're working here.
Oh, and how does that work? Since he does have all those flashing lights and stuff, he's got 5 years to remove those?
Who's that?
Crossroads.
That'd be up to Pam.
No, he can, actually, the light can be sighted at any time.
Mhm.
That's just his sign. That's what I was thinking, does he still have the sign on the roof? Because he did.
He does, I believe there is a non-conforming roof sign. I think that's the only sign that we actually have as a rooftop sign in the village. As when we talked about rooftop signs, because you pointed that one out, I've never seen another.
If you're going on 27 towards north, right before you get out of town, on the right hand side. But next to the community school.
Just before you get
Magic
to-
building.
Right after the library.
Okay.
The lights are very dangerous.
Lights out pretty good. But we can let Dan know.
Super bright.
I've never noticed.
You did it?
No.
I've never, what, does he have flashing lights on?
No, there are these big
I've lived there
spotlights
for
like on
23
the
years.
roof. And they just, I think he got new like LED ones or something, so they're even like brighter.
There's
I never
LED ones with
noticed
windows.
I mean, I always ride my bike through there, but it's in the morning, so there's no lights on it. I never even noticed that.
I drive by 6:15 in the morning.
And the pretty
those
lights
lights are on 6:15.
I'm 90% sure I have.
And they're not even on.
They are pretty good. So, okay, so we'll let Dan know to address that when he returns. Anybody else with anything for new planners? I think that's where we were, right? And then planners report, I assume you're good with
Yeah,
that?
that's the report.
How are we?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just had a question with, what was his last name? Mr. Tilia?
Yeah.
How are we, where are we at?
We haven't heard back from Haytham.
Oh, no.
With Mr. Tilly, I believe the last we spoke to him, he had expanded, I think I told you, he
Yeah.
expanded the footprint. He's looking to demo both residential buildings that are to the east of the property. There were a number of engineering things that needed to be worked out and things that need to work out with the road commission, so I don't know.
I will
I don't know what the
say,
status is, but
Okay.
the building and what he brought back for plans was attractive.
yeah,
You know, it might differ from what you guys have seen, but if he comes back, the entire process of the building materials and that is all going to be before you again, because we told him with this change, this is a large enough change that we're at ground zero, starting the whole process over.
So if he gets all of his ducks in a row and he comes to us and we approve his site plan, he could start demo and everything, because everything at that point would already be approved, but I know it goes engineering, but
He could start the demolition today, because that's a completely separate process. He could walk into the building department, pull the demo permit, and knock both those houses down. It's not contingent upon, the site plan.
Okay.
okay, public comments on non-agenda items, call from the table, and a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 7:48.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.